Perfect. Well, welcome everybody to the Million Mom Movement. I'm so excited to be hosting today's call. My name is Shari Packard, and I've been a council member for about 4 months now. Time flies when you're having fun. And I'm also joined by my amazing council members, and I have a Flory, Allison, and Tammy. Today, we have a very, very exciting topic for you. We're going to be talking about the 90-day experience, beyond expectations, and celebrating success and inspiring others. So there's nothing better for inspiration than hearing someone's success story, right? Someone that we can relate to, someone who's been doing exactly what we're doing and has similar goals, and hearing that sometimes the story is not, perfect, right? Sometimes we see these transformation stories on social media, and it just looks like, we see just the end result, like after 90 days, how everyone's looking, how everyone's feeling. But we don't always hear where they started, right? And the struggles that they had. Because I mean, a 90 days is a journey, right? It's a journey, and growth and hitting your goals, that's not linear, right? There's going to be a lot of ups and downs to that. So I think you're going to hear a whole lot of that in our testimonials today. And the hope is that we can all, be inspired by these stories and use them to help ourselves achieve our 90 days, if that's what we're in the middle of doing, or to help others achieve their 90 days, right? And the idea that from 90 days, it becomes part of our everyday. So at some point we stop counting the days and it's just what we do on a daily basis because we feel great. Um, I I was very excited to become a council member because I am a holistic nutrition and health coach. But even more important than that, I'm a mom. I'm a mom of three. I have an adult daughter who has her own little one and another one on the way. And I have two boys who are 11 and 13 years old. And the Million Mom Movement aspect of Purium really spoke to my heart the moment I found out about it. I couldn't wait to learn more. I couldn't wait to jump on the calls. And I remember in the first couple of weeks joining Purium, I was just watching all of the calls on YouTube, all of the calls from previous years, and I just couldn't get enough. I was very excited to know that a movement like this existed. And I thought that, this is something that more people need to know about. And I love the work that's being done here. And so to be a council member and be able to help move this movement forward is pretty amazing and a little surreal to me. And so before we get the call really going and get into all of these amazing transformations, we love our pledge. And the pledge for me is something that I fell in love with instantly. I printed it out and it is on my fridge. It's a great conversation starter when people come over. It's there in the kitchen for a reason, because I believe that food is medicine and it all starts in our kitchen. Being healthy, being proactive, taking control of our health starts in the kitchen because it starts with our food. And so what better place to put this pledge? It's on our fridge where the whole family can read it and remember why it is that we make the choices that we make on a daily basis. So I would like to ask, I believe you said Marcy. Marcy, would you still be willing to read the pledge for us today?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I need to get that bigger. I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations. I am committed to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom Movement.
Thank you so much, Marcy, for reading that. Would you be so kind as to maybe share with us just a quick little bit about what that means to you when you read that?
It means that we have a big responsibility to ourselves and to our loved ones and our environment, to be more aware of what we're consuming and what we're doing. Also for, protection of our future loved ones. For example, I'm a grandmother, so I'm passionate about their future health because I landed with my health issues because of ignorance to processed foods and the damage it causes and the chemicals and the toxins. So it's I'm passionate about that pledge because I want to make sure that my loved ones have an enriched life.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. I can definitely resonate on the grandma aspect. As if having my own little ones wasn't enough of a reason to want to be more proactive in terms of, being a conscious consumer and choosing foods that are minimally processed, be aware of all of the toxins in our foods. Now I have a whole other level of reason to be aware of that. Having grandkids, it just, I don't know, it just brings all that much more passion into everything, and you want the very best for them. And you recognize, you start to realize that, future generations, what that actually is, because we say that all the time, but, to actually see those future generations before your eyes, and then to truly, really want to make a difference and, ensure that, we're creating the type of world that we want for them, because we all play a part in that. We all do. And we're a lot more powerful in that than we think we are. So thank you, Marcy. I appreciate that very much. So now I'm gonna turn it over to Allison, I believe, to do the in the news piece.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing your screen, Aiva. I'm still getting used to the technical stuff here. So we found this about, carrying forward this mission, as we were just talking about, carrying forward this. And the first step is healing ourselves, right? That's what we come in here for. And that's really, this is how we can fill our cup to give back. But the next step is actually helping others. Like, that is the progression of this journey, is that we start with healing ourselves, and then that is the medicine, of course, but then the other element of the medicine is being in the position to be inspiring and helping others. And I love that this article shares what that does to in our brains and for our healing. So we're all familiar with the saying, it's better to give than receive. What might surprise you is that it is actually backed up by research. So those of us who are kind and compassionate experience clear benefits of our well-being and happiness. We may even live longer. Kindness also helps reduce stress and improve our emotional well-being. We all have so much going on in our lives, competing strains and stresses, not to mention the recent coronavirus pandemic, lockdowns. This has sometimes pushed kindness to the side in favor of what is urgent now. It can be easy to show kindness when posting online, but when it comes to reality, it's harder to commit to kindness in our real life words and actions. By taking the time to be kind to others, we can benefit from emotional upsides. It really does make a difference, especially for people who are vulnerable or struggling. With everything that's going on in the world, now is the time to help make a kinder society that improves our mental health. Even Dave Sandoval, just today on Facebook, his status actually was really in alignment with it, because he just wrote, if you're having a bad day, helps make someone else smile, do something else for someone else. And that is truly the best way to feel good in ourselves, is to do something to do something for someone else. So what do we mean by kindness? Kindness is choosing to do something that helps others, or yourself, motivated by genuine warm feeling. Kindness or doing good often means putting other people's needs before our own. It could be giving up our seat at a bus to someone who might need it more, or offering to make a cup of tea for someone at work. Evidence shows that helping others can also benefit our own mental health and well-being. For example, it can reduce stress as well as improve mood, self-esteem, and happiness. There are so many ways to help others in our daily lives. Good deeds needn't take much time or cost any money. So they do list some things that you can do. But what I think, what is so ingrained in our system here in Purium, which is ingrained into the food that we eat, it actually comes with a gift card that we can share. And to me, that's something we can, like, if you were a loyal customer at, your favorite restaurant or at some online shop, and they said, wow, you're such a loyal customer, I'm going to give you some gift cards that you can share with your friends and family, how excited we would be to just be able to hand out, here's $50 off. And so I love that actually the giving, the sharing and the giving is built in to our healing here. And yeah, there's so many benefits. You know, this is all, this whole mission is about giving back and sharing and acts of kindness every day that help improve our well-being and health. And we can't fill anyone's cup, of course. We can't give until we give ourselves. So really it's, you know, the base is always to start with filling our cup, because I know so many of us here are just givers. And I want to emphasize how important, you know, that how kind it is to really take care of ourselves and nourish our bodies and really put our needs first in order to be able to give and to share and be of service to our community and the world around us. So yeah, I mean, I guess I can read more of the article. It's a great article. Maybe we could post it in there in the chat and people can, you know, read about it, because there's science to back up the giving, you know, and that is truly what we get. We get so much reward in this to, you know, just be able to share our healing journey and watch other people. We're going to hear from Christy soon, actually, who was inspired by me sharing my journey, and how that was just, even just sharing our journeys is an act of, you know, kindness. We get out of our own way, that we're getting out of our comfort zone to share our healing and our journeys, our struggles, you know, what we're going through, to be able to inspire other people and give hope that they can too. And then the beautiful thing about this is we actually are able to give solutions for people. So, you know, it's not just about showing a, you know, a great life that we're living now, and how fortunate we are that we get all this nutrition and all of this community support. We actually get to show people how they can too. And so it's all about sharing and giving.
I love that, Allison. Thank you. And you know, it makes me think of the quote, how do you change the world? One act of kindness at a time, right? And we can all do that. You know, when we break it down to that micro level, like we can all be kind. And there's so many ways to be kind, like that article was highlighting. What I really love that you said there is how you tied it into, like, an act of kindness is taking care of ourselves too. And that one really hits home for me because a couple of years back, about a decade ago, I had heard as a mom, I had heard somebody say, you know, that as a mom, you have to put your own oxygen mask on first. And to me, I could not resonate with that. I couldn't understand it. I was like, no, you know, in that scenario, I would always put the, you know, the oxygen mask on my kids first. And it was a couple of years later when I hit a personal rock bottom because I hadn't been taking care of myself. I thought that as a mom, it meant I had to be selfless, you know, and that if there wasn't enough time for everything that needed to be done in a day, what was going to take a back seat was my own needs. And I thought that that meant I was being a good mom. Like I thought that, you know, to be a good mom, you have to be prepared to do that. And I was very prepared to do it. Unfortunately, at my own detriment, though, because I did hit a rock bottom. And it was only as I climbed out of that and started to, you know, recognize why it happened and, you know, start to heal, did I start to understand why, you know, we put our oxygen masks on first. Because if we don't pour into our own cup, if we don't take care of ourselves first, then we're no good to the people around us. Because when I hit that personal rock bottom, all of a sudden I wasn't there for my kids, you know, and my loved ones the way that I really had set out to be. And so it is the probably the largest act of kindness that you can do is first take care of yourself. And of course, our 90-day program is the best way to start doing that. You know, you don't even realize it. I know that I didn't realize it at the time when I stepped into that. I knew that I needed the nutrition. I knew that, you know, my health was better, but I knew it could still be better. And those are some of the reasons why, you know, I decided to give this a try. As a holistic nutrition and health coach, I understood the science of it. It all made sense to me. You know, raw, dehydrated superfoods. It was like, yes, absolutely. Organic, yes. Grown in regenerative soil. Oh my goodness, like I need this yesterday. But what I didn't realize was that I was actually taking that first step to not only improving my health even more so beyond like even my own wildest dreams, but I was also taking that first act to really, really, really take care of myself on the deepest level, like that nourishment, you know, and that is kindness. Because when you do that for yourself, that shines through, you know, and it's not just that you get to better show up for the ones that you love when you're feeling your best, because that's very true. but you're also modeling that for them, and we're inspiring others like this call was meant to do. So I'm actually going to pass it back over to Allison to introduce our first guest for today.
Thank you so much, Sherry. Yes, to everything you said. And I'm so excited to hear from our first guest, who you may have seen her if you watched the Wednesday call with Amy. She was one of the guests, and she is my very near and dear sister, partner, friend, and just, inspiration all around. I am inspired every single day by this woman, and she is inspiring the world around her, and she is just getting started. So I am so excited to introduce Christy. Christy, please unmute yourself and share what inspired you to take this action in your healing and your self-love, and how it changed your life when you started this 90-day way, and where you're at now, please.
Thank you. I love you, Allison. You and Jared are the greatest. Well, I had asthma when I was at 2, and that was during the time frame when there was no medications for that. So every time I had an asthma attack, I was rushed to the hospital. So hospitals became like a second nature. And about 10 years old, I was given the medicine that had come out for the asthmatic, which was steroid. And as we know today, steroid, they try not to give you that for no longer than about 10 days because of the side effects of it. I was placed on it for 2 years straight. So I was gaining weight from about 10 to 15 pounds a month. And I got the big steroid phase. So by 2, I was already 205 pounds. And I had asthma still really bad, lots of allergies. That continued on my whole adult life. By the time in my late 30s, after my last baby, I was weighing over 340 pounds. The doctors, because I had diabetes, I was left with that after all 3 of those. So I had sleep apnea, asthma, allergies, severe allergies, and I was still consuming tons of steroids. And I was always sick about every 3 months. So I was always on a round of antibiotic for years. So my gut was totally, so all doctors, their answer was, if you just lose that weight, things would all get better. And they pushed that on me to the point where I kind of just was like, I'm thinking they were just being mean, really. But the reality of that, as now I'm over here, that is truth. At that point at 340, I just thought, I can't do this on my own. So I chose to do what the doctors asked, which was to have a weight loss surgery. And I chose the VSG, which was to remove 80% of my stomach. When I was in that hospital bed, I told myself, when I come out of here, this is my last shot. This literally is my last shot. My legs were so huge. I had the edema. I was, I had the heart ticks where I would feel like I'd have to take a deep breath just to slow my heart back down to a normal pace. And I told my husband, when I come out of here, mentally, I'm coming out of here as an athlete, because that's what I had always wanted to be, but I could never get past the asthma and the steroids and stuff. Every time I would exercise, my immune system would take a dive, and I just go back down. And I do the old habits of, when you can't taste, you eat salty sweet. And that was my lifestyle. I put Debbie on the calendar, little Debbie snack cakes. So I come out of there, and when I took my first little sip of water, I knew that this thing was going to work. And me and my husband at that minute got up and started walking around the nurse's desk, came home, just kept going. And I had a goal of, after 6 months, I'm going to lose 100 pounds, and I did it. And then I took the rest of the year to do that. But when you do that much exercising and you eat very little, you become so malnourished. My hair was falling out. And I started really looking into endurance athletes, and I'm like, what can I do? And that's where I got turned on to raw green juice. But I couldn't take the time to do all that juicing, and I just bought powdered juice from either Sprouts or Whole Foods. And they were horrible. They tasted yucky, but I knew my body needed that so I could continue on exercising. And I would just take the little cup, shoot it into my mouth, swish it with some water, and just go on my day, you know. And of course, you know, when you're a weight loss person, they push you to get your 60 grams of protein. And that became whey protein. It became beef and cheese and all the stuff that's horrible for you. And then after that, I, you know, went on my journey. I made my goals, lost my weight, wanted to do more bodybuilding and stuff like that. And it was tough. And so my mom got sick in part of my journey, and I became her caregiver. And I had lots of time sitting here at home. And that's when I really was getting into looking at, you know, Instagram more. And that's where I found you. And I watched you and Jared. I interacted with y'all. Y'all were funny to me. You answered any questions. You never tried to push me, which I just love that about you to this day. You're just genuine, and that sold me on eventually really wanting it. Mom had gotten a lot worse, and the stress on me during that time really was making my heart rate higher, because I track it with my Aura ring. And at night when I'd go to sleep, it would still beat around 60 beats a minute, which before it would go down into the low 40s, which is really great for somebody that loves cardio and likes to jump like I do. So I was telling my husband, I really need something special. Like, what am I going to do? I can't let myself go. I wasn't eating crappy anymore, but mentally I was going down with this. So I did. I ordered. It took a minute. You know, you were working with me, and I finally did it. I just said I needed it, and I waited. And when I got it, I was so excited sitting in the bed, because I was like, I'm fixing to open this greed powder up, and I'm going to tell you if it's as special as she's making it look on there. And I stuck my fingers in there and put it in my mouth, and I was like, my gosh, this is amazing. And then, started on my journey with that. Even, you know, I had 1 month before I lost my mom after that. And I was doing the program pretty much like it said, but when I got stressed with that, I kind of plummeted, you know, but I kept drinking it and drinking it. And then about, what was it, like week 3, I was, you know, texting you. I was like, what in the heck is in this crap? Because I was putting on, like, I was lifting heavier, and I was eating less meat. It was like, what is going on? And that's when I knew, like, man, this is something special here. And then so like 1 month now has turned into 11. So next month will be my 1 year. And I still have lots of, you know, goals for my health, because I still struggle with some things. But one of the things that I was able to release during this 1 year that I was super proud of is during the time my mom was passing away, they gave me sleeping pills and things that would help me to relax, like Xanax and it was temazepam and something else. And I was hooked on those. I couldn't come off of those. So when we spoke, you know, I knew a little bit about you. You were talking about, you know, you had the same kind of issues with sleep, and you kind of gave me a little guidance on that. And then when I met you at the Oasis, some of the other girls gave me some guidance on the tart cherry juice. So I went from just taking it at night to taking it in every shake. So I was taking it up to 3 times a day. And I've released all those medications. No more Xanax. It's probably been 2 months now. And yes, and last night I think I slept in my deep sleep, like it tracked it, for over an hour and 15 minutes, which is phenomenal.
Wow, Christy, I love your story so much. I never can get sick of hearing it. And I know the world needs to see that example, because just so many people, first of all, have gone through, you know, that surgery that you went through, and they may lose the weight, but they don't end up healthier because they're not given guidance and support after that. So they go back to, you know, sometimes just really bad health issues and actually complications down the line. So you got the second chance of life. And I love that you own that. Like, you own that second chance. That is your rebirth. And you claimed that when you got out of that surgery. And I know that's when you decided, I'm not going to put crap in my body. I'm not going to, hurt my body. This is too valuable. You invested in yourself, and it's just so inspiring to see you at 55 now being able to like restart your life, like rebirth, and show people they can get, when most people are starting to get on medications at this age, and all these complications, you're getting off of them, and you're showing that the best is yet to come. That is a really powerful, that's your, and if you follow Christy, she's jumping and she's full of energy and full of vitality and glowing. And, and when you see those before pictures, you can just see, wow, even after the weight loss surgery, what a difference incorporating these superfoods. And I really believe, this is what most people are praying for, is just that easy access to be able to stay consistent in their health. And just looking for that missing piece, that I'm just so grateful we connected, and that you trusted me enough to take the leap. And it's been, I know, ever since, we're in touch very closely, and she's just doing amazing things, and deeper healing and deeper healing. And that's the thing, it's a journey. It's like, it's not just like, oh, I heal and then that's it. It's like, we just keep on getting better and better. And then we get to work on like the deeper things, that probably we never would have even explored had we not healed these other layers. And it's just like, getting to work on mindset and our confidence, and sharing our story is just so beautiful.
Yeah, I would like to say though, if anyone else out there is struggling, I lived in a bubble of hopelessness. I really didn't see a way out. And actually that surgery to me mentally was like, this is it. And to get over here, realize that that was all a lie. That was all a lie. And I bought into that lie. And one thing can transform you out. And Purium has come in at a time when I'm ready. I'm just ready to fly. And it gives you that energy and that self-love. This stuff is just more than just getting healthy. This is, you're putting in, every time you take a green juice or any of the products, this is loving yourself on the most highest frequency possible. And when you do that, you elevate yourself to a whole new level mentally and emotionally, and believing. And then you come across this community, which is always uplifting, and you read Dave's stuff and all of y'all that I follow, and I'm uplifted. And then I'm just thinking to myself, I have the ability, I can't help everyone, but I have the ability to help the people that I'm meant to help. And that goes so great when you find your purpose. So it took me a long time to find my purpose of why I was here, but now it makes so much sense now. So it's like, don't give up. If you're an older person, you can just get started at any age. It really is that simple, but sometimes we get locked into the emotional part of it. It's not, but you can. And when you get on this, this is magic. This helps turn things around in here.
Yeah. Can I share, Christy, can you share what your plans are for the future? Because I know you want to be you're training to be a coach for women in their, over 50, and how you see yourself in the future. I'd love to hear a little vision of your vision.
Yeah, I went this year and did get my certification to be a personal trainer. For one, to help women to feel comfortable in that gym and to own their space there, and to wear a two-piece or let your rolls hang out. I have back rolls, I have extra skin and stuff, and that has nothing to do with nothing. Nobody's ever going to remember you. Oh, I seen this girl. Do you remember she had back skin? Nobody cares. That's all you. You should get in there, because when you step foot in there, you're putting yourself first. It's just another act of self-love. So I wanted to help women that, if we have to start in a chair and we sit down and we're doing, weights sitting in a chair, it's fine. Just, we all have a place in there, and don't stay out because you don't feel like you belong, because we belong. And so I'm hoping to help lots more women, men too, just to realize that it's just one step in front of another. I'm not trying to get, I would love at one time to have been a bodybuilder, and who knows, it could help. It could happen. But just staying healthy and vital and being and walking out till I'm 90, that's my goal. Like I want to walk around 90, not stuck in a bed somewhere or a wheelchair. And so I want to be lifting at 90, but I know that it's going to be tailored to me. And so I want to help other women realize just because we are motivated by all these women out there that are, you know, lifting heavy and stuff like that, you can be motivated, but still have your own like self. You know, you won't be like anyone else. You're you, and that's all you're going to be. So it might be you're just lifting 5 pound weights and you say, oh, I wish I could lift 25. Don't worry about that. That comes in time. Just take one little step after another to keep inching towards your goal. And before you know it, you know, you're lifting 15 pounders, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, this and Ethereum out to everybody. Like Ethereum just doesn't belong in a gym. It's for everyone that wants to be vital till the end and release their vitality all the way.
Beautiful. You're going to inspire so
You'll be
many women along with you. Yeah. And men and everyone. Yeah. I know. I'm so, I love that, you know, Christy, the way we think now is the best is yet to come. And I think that that's what this program, that's what this 90-day, the 90 days is just a gateway, right? To a lifetime of improvement and of hope and belief that the best is yet to come. So we get to create into our 90s and imagine our best selves all the way up in to our centurions and everything. So
90 and helping you plant stuff in your garden.
Yes. Oh, we're going to do so much together. Thank you so much, Christy. I did have another guest, but is David Burns here? David, if you're out here, I didn't see him come on. He was supposed to. David Burns, are you out here? Okay, well, it doesn't seem that he came on. If you guys have someone else, I mean, I could definitely call on someone else to share if Naiva, if unless you have someone here to share.
I believe Naiva does. Just
Yeah.
before we get to the next guest, though, Christy, people, you should check out the chat if you haven't already, because you're getting so much love in there. But people want to know how they can follow you. Where's the best place they can find you?
I'm on Facebook and Instagram and Christy Webb.
Okay, perfect.
And I'm not great with the technology part, so if anyone wants to link it down there for me, I'd love you.
We can do that for you, no problem. And I'll pass over to Naiva.
Thank you so much, Sherry. Thank you, Allison, for introducing Christy to us. And Christy, your story was so incredible and so inspiring to so many. And so I just appreciate you being bold and being able to come and share your story with us, because you're going to inspire so many people, like Allison said. And so I have a beautiful guest on today who had an incredible journey with her health. She was actually pretty much unable to eat any food a little over a year and a half ago. And Purium, in her own words, pretty much saved her life. And so I would love to bring on Blessa so you can come share your story. You able to unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Hey.
Thank you, Naiva. Thanks for inviting me here today. And thank you to all of you in the Million Mom Movement. I love coming to these calls and hearing everyone's stories. Yeah, like Naiva said, about a year and a half ago, I became intolerant of all foods. It was kind of a slower process up till then, becoming allergic to peanuts in my 20s, alcohol in my 30s, and then gluten in my early 40s. And so that was, occurring. And then I just couldn't eat food at all until I was just juice fasting for about 2 weeks. And I was feeling good as long as I was juicing. But the problem with juicing fresh fruits and veggies is that you end up throwing out a lot of the fiber and a lot of the fruits and vegetables that you're purchasing. And it's really time consuming. So it was really taking up kind of my whole life. And I wasn't able to actually eat food, and I was really missing that. Luckily, Naiva had been reaching out to me over the years, over her past 9 years with Purium, and just offering, showing up, being there. And I think maybe I made a post on Facebook or something that she saw, and she reached out to me. And so I went ahead and I got started on at that time on a 30-day ULT, and I started feeling better immediately. As soon as I got the products into my body, I started to feel better. It was really amazing. And I was so grateful for, especially for the super aminos as well, because I wasn't able to get any protein. I had lost a lot of weight and I was very thin. I had no energy. I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't think straight. Was having a hard time working or really doing anything, not being able to eat and consume food. And so the super aminos were an incredible game changer for me. And that in combination with the power shake, I was finally being fed and nourished. And I'll also say that I had gone to the doctors, was starting all kinds of different testing. I thought maybe I had parasites, and I really didn't know what was wrong with me, but neither did the doctors. And so when I started taking the super aminos and power shake and then the biomedic, what I came to find out and what I believe is that I had glyphosate poisoning, that I just was not able to. I had done a lot of cleansing, and I was a vegetarian at 13 and a vegan, and I've been conscious about food for a really long time, but I've been exposed to a tremendous amount of glyphosate. And so when I started taking that biomedic, my gut health started to come back into order. And I have been on the products ever since, and I really can't imagine my life without them at this point. I kind of dived back in a little bit deeper into another. It was back in September that we did some cleansing and did another parasite cleanse. And so just kind of got a little bit more consistent with the products where had been more on a maintenance program. But now I'm really consistent with the products and also adding in a lot of the other capsules and different things that are just the other incredible plants that Purium offers that are benefiting me in so many ways. And I love them all so much. And I love that I can travel with them. My life has just opened up in such an incredible way. And I'm able to eat food now. I'm able to consume food really consciously and carefully always, especially now knowing what I know and what I went through. But I'm able to eat meals with people. And also when I'm in situations where it might not be as healthy, or I know that it's conventional food and it's not organic, but I'm sharing a meal with people that I love and that I care about, I'm able to have my biomedic and know that I'm actually addressing that consistently. And so it's not accumulating in my system for any length of time, that I'm continuously addressing my gut health. And for that, I'm truly, truly grateful. And now I'm sharing with others and just have been sharing organically really since the very beginning, because I know so many people are suffering and suffering with all kinds of digestive symptoms that we tend to think are normal. You know, they're really normalized, like indigestion and heartburn and all of these, and gas and bloating and things that we just deal with on a daily basis. And it's actually, I'm finding now that it's really not normal at all and not necessary. And I love not having to deal with those things anymore. And if it ever happens, I have a solution. Like I call Purium and the superfoods, it's like my foundational baseline for my nutrition. And it's always a place to come home to if ever I stray or something, like I have something that would be out of the norm for me. I have a place to come back to. And that is, yeah, it's really centering and grounding and nourishing for my body. So thank you all very much. And thanks for allowing me to share today.
Absolutely. I love your story. It's so inspiring. And I know there was a couple times when you ran out of products. I'd love for you to share what that was like, because I know there was some times when you called and you're like, I need it FedEx to me as soon as possible. Like, I need these superfoods.
Yeah, well, I think I actually just talked to another brand partner today who she was expressing how, we start to feel better and forget how terrible we felt. It's like it just becomes the normal now that I'm feeling great, and I forget how awful that was. And so yeah, there was some times when I hadn't made my orders quick enough and was waiting, and then realizing that I didn't have what I needed and that I do really require these now. It is it's not a negotiable for me at this at this point. And, sometimes like the investment up front at the beginning of the month was challenging for me. But I know that I actually spend so much more money running around trying to nourish myself without Purium than I do actually making this investment for myself every month and finding a way to really make that possible. And so that is, being here on these calls and also working the business model that allows me to live this life of health and wealth. Like it's just such an incredible gift. And yeah, I don't ever want to be without these products. And now when I'm going places, I need to bring even more because I like to share them with people. But I need to make sure that I have what I need. I think they were talking about the oxygen mask at the beginning of the call. Like I need to always make sure that I have my nutrition for the day and that I can also have enough to share with others.
Absolutely. And I love that you've been traveling and sharing this at different retreats and with different retreat coordinators and things like that. I mean, this is such a perfect food to share with others. And right now you're on the Big Island and sharing it. And if you want to share a little bit about, how you're sharing it and how you see the future with Purium, I'd love to hear that as well.
Yeah, I really am wanting to share with people who have an ability to share with larger groups of people, maybe have more influence and already have a following, or they already have events that are happening. I know a lot of people who travel around the world a lot, and so this just allows us to continue to maintain our nutrition and know that we have an organic source no matter where we are. And I love that. That has been a game changer for me, and especially being in airports and it's like I would go to these healthy retreats where we would have all of this beautiful, organic, amazing food and be fed during the retreat. But then I would go to leave and then be in the airport for sometimes 24 hours in an airport, trying to make my way home and not have any way to feed myself. And then be like actually having a breakdown in the airport, trying to make sure that I can get something healthy. And so now I don't ever have to worry about that anymore. And so I share with people so that they can share that with their clients and with their participants in their retreats and people who are traveling to go and do healthy things. But then how do we maintain that on a daily basis? Because it's beautiful to go for 5 days or 10 days to a retreat and do something wonderful for yourself, but it's really about the daily presence that we have with our nutrition and being able to maintain that foundational baseline that I was talking about. And so that's what I've really been enjoying sharing with people, and yeah, just continuing to share the good word of superfoods.
I love that. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story and have so much fun at the Manifest on the Big Island. That's super exciting with a huge woman lineup. I'm so excited and you'll see my mom there. So thanks for hopping on today and I will pass it back to you, Sherry.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That story was just incredible. And I know I speak for everybody here when I say inspiring is probably an understatement because there's just so much, again, when you hear from where you started to where you are now and where you're continuing to go, because like we said, it's not just a 90-day and done, right? 90 days is really just the beginning, but it's truly in those 90 days, when we allow ourselves those 90 days, that's when we can really start to see, just what's on offer for us, just what's possible. Like we don't know how good we feel until we start to feel it. And I think that these stories that were shared here today really truly show that, really speak of that, the truth in there, and so much so that Les was saying that, when she ran out, she realized just how far she had already come in just those days. So thank you so much for your stories. I don't know if Allison or Nayeva, did you want to add anything in terms of maybe a little quick little something about your own first 90 days stories or your transformations? Go ahead, Allison.
Yeah, I could. Did you have anyone that you were gonna? Okay, I'll share really quickly because that was, I mean, for me, I love when I'll get the phone call from people usually after 6 days. And that to me, for some reason, 6 days was that breakthrough for me. I felt the benefits right away. So like how, Bless said, it's just like right, or, everyone feels it right away when it's when you're drinking that green juice, your cells like light up. You take your aminos, literally 20 minutes later, you're feeling like full of energy and strength. So, and mental clarity. And so, yes, right away, it's what I love about this program is you feel the benefits. So I was taking all of these supplements before, and I couldn't really tell what they were doing. But as soon as I switched over to Purium, I felt the difference right away. And then there was something that happened after day 6 for me that it was just transformative on a whole other level, that I experienced this almost like euphoria. Like I want to say I like entered into, I'm like, oh, this is how we're supposed to feel. Like I woke up one day after a good night's sleep, because I had been, not sleeping well before. And to finally have that deep restful sleep and wake up and feel like I don't need a coffee. Like I'm excited for my green juice and I'm excited for life again. That's how I felt after day 6. And 6 years later, I still feel that way. And I still, like Bless is saying, when you run out is when you really feel the difference. And it wasn't until, after, because we started it just 30 days. And I thought to myself, I'm just going to do 30 days. I didn't understand smart order at that time. Taz tried to explain it to me, but I was like, I'm going to do 30 days. So we ran out. And it was when I ran out that I really, I was like, we're never doing this again. Like, we're never running out again. We have to be on that smart order because we need backup. And I need to make sure that that is like, I have access all the time, because this is a life hack. When you're feeling down, or any kind of, if you're feeling down, you make yourself a can't beat this and take 5 aminos. Sure thing. You are going to feel amazing 20, like right away. You're just going to feel amazing. It's a life hack. So, I need to have access to all of these superfoods. We have like our whole pantry is Purium, and it's just, I need to have it whenever I go traveling, wherever I am, because we were even living in Belize, in 2020, just after we, did start to do this program and everything. And we thought, well, we're going to have fresh fruit all the time. We're maybe not going to need as much superfoods, but I'll tell you, a lot of my symptoms came back from my glyphosate toxicity when I didn't have my biomedic. Even though I was eating fruit off the land, there was glyphosate, in the water, in around us and whatever. And we, we said from that time that we were like, there's nowhere in the world that I want to be without this. And even in Thailand, I was just there and had amazing fruit everywhere. It doesn't matter. You got to have your greens, you got to have your biomedic, and you got to have your, there's those core 4 products. Those are baseline. And then there's so many other things, of course, that we take, because there is just, everything has benefits depending on what your needs are, but the more the better. That's what we always like. I'm like, the more superfoods I'm eating now, I am just, the better I am, and was able to get off, 5 medications eventually that I thought I needed for life, and have just been passionately sharing this, because it's just the best way I know to love people right now is to share this gift.
Amazing. And I mean, it's the highest quality food, and it's grown in regenerative soil. And that truly makes all the difference. And that's why we feel a difference when we're not eating that way, when we're not having these superfoods. It's not because it's like preventing something, it's giving us nourishment, as everyone here has expressed today, on a completely different level, right? On every level. And that's not even when you are somewhere where, like Allison, you mentioned Thailand and Belize, like these are areas where you would think, okay, like there's an abundance of fresh fruit, and so we should be okay. We don't know how it's grown. We don't know what it's sprayed with. We don't know when it was picked, right? All of these things truly do matter in terms of the type of nourishment, the way that we are fueling our bodies or not fueling our bodies. And so, that's why we all feel the same way when we are taking these amazing superfoods. And I have to say that my journey as well, the first 30 days, I felt the difference too, about 6 or 7 days in, which is pretty amazing. But I remember it clear as day, because I woke up for the first time before my alarm. And I didn't just wake up before my alarm, but I woke up ready to go. And I had been through a period in my life where I was like pressing snooze over and over and over again. It was ridiculous. And I was awake and I was alert and I was like ready and excited to start my day. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's a coincidence. But then no, the next day it happened again, the next day it happened again. And now we're 2.5, almost 3 years in, and every single morning, I don't even know why I bother setting my alarm. I guess it's just out of habit, because I wake up every single day before my alarm. So that's one of the first things that I noticed too, that has been consistent ever since. Naeva?
Yeah, I love all the stories. So inspiring. I started over 9 years ago and I've never stopped using Purium because, if you find something good that works, you just never want to stop. And I actually started as a postpartum mom. I had a 4-month-old baby. And so I started doing it and I really wanted to do a cleanse. And so I did a moderated version of the accelerated cleanse within my 30-day program. And I just felt so nourished. And with my super busy lifestyle, with all the kids in school and a new baby, it was just something that I could do one-handed, right? When you have a new baby, you're doing everything with one hand. And it was something I could literally just put the water and the superfoods into the shaker cup and make it and nourish myself, which often I would sit there nursing my newborn baby, like hungry, thinking about what I could eat when he finally woke up. Because, when you finally get the baby asleep and you don't want to move because you're like, if I move, the baby's going to wake up and then it's all over. So, it was something I could actually do when I was going to sit down and I could nourish myself and not be so anxious to move or to change that beautiful moment of just getting to be there present with my baby. And, these superfoods really nourished me and they have helped my whole family. My 15-year-old son is an athlete. He uses these superfoods all the time. He's currently in canoe paddling and he makes sure he gets his aminos every day and his joint flex and his super xanthan and super life formula. And he does it. I just make little containers every other week. I have 14 little containers and I just fill them with all the things. And every morning he gets up and he just takes all the things in the container. And when he runs out, he always asks me like, Mom, you have to refill my containers, or Mom, what was in the containers? And he'll go and find them for himself in our superfoods. But it's so great because what we do is what our children will do. And so we are the example. And so, like you said earlier, putting your own oxygen mask on first, doing something for yourself. If you're showing them what is good, they're going to learn. And even my 9-year-old son, he can be resistant at times because he grew up with it since he was a baby. But he also, will ask for it on occasion. And, I just have to play around with different ingredients and sneak it in different ways for him now. But he does love certain combinations of the shakes, and he does love to actually open up the Biomedic and just put them in his mouth, like open up the capsules and sprinkle them in his mouth. And he loves the chlorella tablets. That's one of his favorites, which I think is amazing because chlorella tablets have the cell growth factor. It's so good for your brain. It's great for your blood. And so it's just so great to have these available to our family, and when my granddaughters come over, they always ask me for a green shake. Grandma, I want a green shake. And so, when you have it available and you have it, the kids just see what you're doing and they want it too. They want to have those healthy habits too. And sometimes, there's definitely those moments of rebelliousness where they're like, I don't want the green shake, but they come back around. My 15-year-old, for a few moments there, he was like, I don't want your green shake, Mom. But now that he's become more of an athlete and he realized how much it impacts his ability to perform, he actually asks for it. And anytime we run out of cocoa hydrate, he's making sure to remind me, like, Mom, the cocoa hydrate's getting low, the can't beat this is getting low. And those are really the ones that he reaches for. And I'm so grateful that we have these superfoods for ourselves and to share with those that we love. So yeah, thank you so much, Sherry. Pass it back to you.
Amazing, Naiva. I love when you share about your children and your grandchildren, and the fact that they've been on it like for so long is just amazing and so inspiring to me. I mean, we're, like I said, almost 3 years in, and my kids, yes, it's already become a way of life for them. Getting ready for their sports means filling their bottles with Aloe Digest and Apothecary and Can't Beat This and Cocoa Hydrate. That combination. It's even been coined amongst their hockey teams as like Jordan and Nathan's special formula, or so it's things that we just do now on a daily basis. There's shakes every day. I just shared yesterday about my son. My youngest one actually broke his wrist during hockey at the end of December. And we're only 17 days in, went to get an x-ray done to see how it's healing. And, keep in mind, usually a bone takes about 8 weeks on average to heal. And he's about 75 to 85% healed already. So much so that they were able to remove the cast and put on just a brace that he doesn't have to wear all the time. He can be on the ice outside now, our backyard rink, not his team just yet. But the doctor was amazed, and he knows, what a little bit of what I do. And he said, like, we need to talk because I need to hear a little bit more about what you're doing here. And I was very purposeful about which superfoods he was having. And what the most amazing part part is that on the way home from the clinic when he first broke his arm, of course, as a hockey player, was not happy to hear that he couldn't play sports for 4 weeks. And as soon as we got in the car, and he's only 11, he said, Mom, he's like, what can we do to like help my body heal faster? I'm sure there's things that we can, what can I have? What can I take? What can I do? I'm like, I loved hearing that, because that to me is empowerment right there at only 11 years old. He's like, okay, I know that there's something we can be doing. How can we help my body? And I was like, that's exactly what I want him to be thinking in a situation like that. And so we went home, and, he was fully, I mean, he loves it all anyway. So having more dark berry, he was on board with that. Having more apothecary, was super on board with that. Gave him some super aminos, gave him some zinc aid. And he sees the effects, and he's like really excited. And now, he sees it for himself, which is amazing. So this is all what we were talking about when we were talking about inspiring and sharing. And we get to inspire because we share our story, and we share what's working for us and how we got there. And so our call to action is exactly that. We're asking everybody today to, first of all, if you're not on a 90-day subscription yet, we'll go get on one, and then inspire others to get on them as well. And we're also challenging everyone to put together 10 connect calls to help people, right? Let's all help each other. Let's get this out there more. Let's share this movement. Also, this call right here, this call is gold in terms of what you can share with others, right? So that people can really see other people going through the experience and how they are feeling, right? And how they went about it all. So use our call, share it. Go to our YouTube channel. We have so many more videos there that can be shared as well. And just share, get on the subscription 90 days and talk about it. Let people know why 90 days is so important and how that's just the first stepping stone to it all. And so with that, I'm going to pass it over to Naiva so she can close us out.
Thank you so much, Sherry, and thanks for all the shares. So we would love to just invite you to join us and like, follow, and share our pages, so that way you can really be a part of our community. Share this pledge out into your community as well. So first, go and like our Facebook page, and then join our Facebook group as well at Million Mom Movement Official is the group. And that's where our replays get posted with any links that we share here weekly. So if you're ever looking for any of the links that we share, that's where you can find them, is within the group. That group is our community group. So I also invite you to like share your stories in there. If you see valuable information that you feel like would benefit the community, share it within that group, so that way we can really help inspire each other and give each other tools. And this last week I put a new tool in there of what is it called? A carousel. So there's several images that you can use on a carousel that you can repost in your own social media if you want to. And then please follow us on Instagram, and you can tag us in your stories so we can repost your stories. You can tag us on your posts. I believe today's the last day to do the hashtag the 90-day way and get an entry in. So if you haven't done that yet, go post something and use that hashtag, and then subscribe to our YouTube channel so you have the first access to our replays. It actually sends you an email when you're subscribed that says, a new replay is up, and I believe it sends you the link. And so that's really helpful, because then you have the link right away and you can start sharing this replay with other people in your community. So just join us weekly for our community action here with the Million Mom Movement. We have so much to share, and we have a topic for next week. So let me open this up. I wanted to show you all this, our page, our Million Mom Movement page on Facebook. And if you scroll down there in the featured section, there's our upcoming events. So you can see this is happening now. And our next week is the transformative power of our mushroom blends. So we're going to be talking all about our essential mushroom blends. If you know people that are interested in learning more about our mushroom blends, please make sure and invite them here. You can go and press going to our event, so that way we can really fill up this group and show that there's lots of people going. The cool thing is when you click that, it also shows up on your Facebook feed, on the sidebar. So when people are looking at events that you're going to, it actually shows up. So that's really interesting and a great way to kind of cross promote, where people might be like, oh, what is this event you're attending? And of course, this is where you can get all the information. If you're wanting to repost anything, you can go and learn more and grab, what we've written about our presentation next week. So please do go click going on our events weekly and share them far and wide. You can invite people right here, invite people in your community, and this gives you a reason to reach out to them. So if you're inviting people to these events, please track the people that you're inviting so that you can also follow up with a personal invitation, a personal reach out of, hey, did you see I invited you to this, informational presentation next week? I really think it's something you'll align with. I'm really excited to see you there. So please join me. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here today. And Sherry, any last words for you?
No, I mean, I think that's it. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I hope that we were able to inspire. I know I feel even more inspired. I didn't need any more convincing, but every time I hear, with each new story I hear and each new testimonial, I just fall more and more in love with what it is that we're doing here and this movement, and of course, our amazing superfoods. So I hope everybody enjoyed, and we will see you all next week.